Imagine stepping outside on an ordinary evening, the air crisp with the approaching winter, when suddenly a sound like thunder cracks through the silence except there are no storms in the forecast. You turn toward the nose just in time to see a man collapse onto the pavement, motionless, as if he had materialized from thin air. No plane overhead, no parachute fluttering down, just a lone figure in a dark suit, lying lifeless on the cold ground. This isn't fiction, it really happened. And to this day, no one knows who he was, where he came from, or how he got there. The year was 1959, the place a quiet suburb of Adelaide, Australia. Locals reported hearing a strange sound. Some described it as a hump, others as a muffled explosion before the man's body was discovered on a sidewalk. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic but straightforward case. A man had fallen to his death. But when police arrived, they realized nothing about this scene made sense. The victim was well dressed in a tailored suit, expensive shoes, and a crisp white shirt. Yet despite his polished appearance, he carried no identification, no wallet, no passport, not even a label in his clothing. It was as if every trace of his identity had been deliberately erased. In his pockets, investigators found a handful of peculiar items, a scrap of paper with the words TAMAM SHUD printed on it, an unused train ticket, a half-empty pack of chewing gum, and a small vial that later tested positive for poison. The phrase TAMAM SHUD was the first major clue and the first dead end. It was Persian, meaning ended or finished, the final words of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of ancient poems. Detectives soon realized the scrap had been torn from a rare edition of the book. After a public appeal, a copy was found in the backseat of an abandoned car near the scene. Inside, scribbled in faint pencil, was a bizarre string of letters. Go about dem laoi timpanat mlaboiaqc at msamstgab. At first glance, it looked like gibberish. Codebreakers from the military and intelligence agencies were brought in, but none could crack it. Was it a cipher, a spy's last message, or just a red herring? The autopsy deepened the mystery. The man had died from a fast-acting poison, yet there were no traces of it in his stomach. How had it entered his system? Even stranger, his muscles were rigid in a way that suggested he had been dead for hours before hitting the ground, yet witnesses swore they had seen him alive just moments before. And then there was the condition of his body. No broken bones, no signs of a fall from height. It was as if he had simply appeared. Rumors swirled. Some believed he was a Cold War spy, assassinated mid-mission. Others thought he was a test subject in a military experiment gone wrong. A few even whispered about extraterrestrials, but the most compelling theory came from an unexpected source. A local woman who claimed she recognized the man from a beach months earlier. She said he had been acting strangely, staring out at the water as if waiting for a signal. When she approached, he tensed, muttered something in a foreign language, and hurried away. Investigators tracked down every lead. They circulated his likeness across the world, checked missing persons records, even consulted psychics. But no one could say for certain who he was. The only thing they knew was that someone had gone to great lengths to make sure he would never be identified. His fingerprints matched no records. His dental work didn't align with any known country's practices. Even the fabric of his suit was untraceable. Years passed, the case went cold. Then, in 2011, a retired detective came forward with a new theory. The man was a Soviet spy, part of a failed operation, and the code in the book was an encrypted message to his handlers. But without the cipher key, the truth remained locked away. Others suggested he was a doomed lover, a man who had chosen to erase himself from existence rather than face disgrace. The most haunting question isn't just who he was, it's why his death was staged so mysteriously. If someone wanted him dead, why go through the trouble of planting clues? Why leave behind a code that no one could solve? Was it a taunt? A final message to someone who would understand? Or was the entire thing an elaborate ruse to cover up something even darker? To this day, the man who fell from the sky has no name, no history, no explanation. His case remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Every few years, a new investigator takes up the trail, hoping to finally crack the code or uncover a long-buried clue. But so far, the truth remains just out of reach, as elusive as the man himself. What really happened that night, we may never know. But one thing is certain. This was no accident. Someone knew the answers. And somewhere, hidden in the shadows of time, The secret still waits.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.